Mr. Yancey, your opening statement.
Thank you, Quentin. First, thank you all for attending tonight's debate, and I'd like to also thank Christopher Newport University and the Boston Center for the excellent job that you do in covering public policy, as well as for hosting this evening's debate. For the past 6 years, I've had the honor and the privilege of representing the 94th District in the Virginia House of Delegates. And in that time, my focus has been on what the working needs of the families in this community have been. And oftentimes, you've heard me comment about an acronym that I've used referred to as JET: Jobs, Education, and Transportation. And there have been a lot of things that I believe we can all step back for a moment and take pride in the results that we've been able to achieve working together, Republicans and Democrats alike, and myself along with members of the state Senate. I see Ms. Miller's here tonight, and thank you for your husband's service. I truly enjoyed not just serving with him, but learning from him in his time in the state Senate. So I just want to thank you for that. And in that way, working together, Republicans and Democrats alike, we have achieved some great things. We know about I-64 on the peninsula. The expansion, the first segment will be ready by December of this year. The Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel will have new capacity. By 2024, we're looking at 2, maybe 4 existing lanes. So from now through 2024, we'll have a widening of I-64 on the peninsula to the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. On jobs and the economy, I helped to secure $46 million for a foundry that's now down at the Newport new shipyard, where we're going to be able to secure jobs for today, jobs for tomorrow, and jobs for the future. And working with Newport News Public Schools, I introduced legislation to deal with those workforce issues, teachers in the workforce who can teach young people about these needed jobs at the shipyard, and likewise, securing funding with $181 million in this budget, plus additional teacher pay raises in previous budgets as well. And while we can certainly talk about energy and other issues that I've introduced legislation on, I think there's some things, though, that you may not be aware of that I've introduced in the General Assembly, which I also take great pride in as well. So for an example, we talked about the economy. I've heard from many working moms in our community saying that we need to be able to focus on those things that are important to help moms get back into the workforce, which is why I've introduced legislation on breast pump. It would help women in the workforce. It would be able to give them an opportunity to do what is necessary to take care of their children and to be able to be on the job. And likewise, as a person who serves on the Commerce and Labor Committee, legislation that came before me on equal pay, I supported that legislation. If you do the work, regardless if you're a man or a woman, you should be paid accordingly, and I supported that legislation. I also want to note on safety. I introduced legislation that now is the toughest laws in the nation on human trafficking here in Virginia. Working with Newport News Police and working with Newport News Prosecutor's Office, we were able to get that meaningful legislation passed. Healthcare. I know that's a very important topic. So let me tell you what I've worked on in healthcare. Proton therapy legislation. No longer can proton therapy held to a higher standard as it's been under insurance policies. So now if a person is diagnosed with cancer, this is an option that they can discuss with their oncologist in order to get that opportunity for that kind of medical treatment. In fact, I will say, working with Democrats, including the governor's office, we have been able to appeal to the insurance companies to hold back and to push forward on proton therapy, and we are truly saving lives. Hampton University is doing an outstanding job there. Additionally, on healthcare issues, I helped to support and pass legislation in the General Assembly that would extend insurance coverage for families that have an autistic child. And I know this is an important issue, and I know it's an important issue for the people in this room, and I supported co-sponsored legislation that would extend insurance coverage for birth control for an additional 12 months from the existing 3 months under the existing law. Quality of life is something that I know that is also very important for the people in this community, and that's why I'm very proud to say, and I know there's been some questions about it, but when I'm door knocking and I talk to people all the time, they ask me, where do you stand on Riverview Farms? Where do you stand on City Park? And I say I support it. I think it's a good thing for the city of Newport News. And although it's a city issue, it's not a state issue, it's one that I've already talked to the appropriations staff about lining up state and federal grant money, and about talking to the Virginia Farm Bureau about urban farm opportunities. So I think this is a win-win-win for the city of Newport News, and I think this is a great opportunity for the quality of life here in our community. And that really is what it boils down to, the quality of life for the people that I represent at Newport News. At tonight's debate, we're going to be talking about what I have done, what my vision is, what my opponent believes her vision is, so that you can make what you believe is the best decision on Tuesday, November 7th. And I'm truly grateful for your attendance tonight, and I thank you for the opportunity to serve this community for the past 6 years.
Great, thank you. And I would commend you both on, and those were exactly 5 minutes. that must have been practiced. All right, Ms. Simons gets the first question. Your opponent